In your book, you were also talking about how it's important for people with disabilities to make the decision for people with disabilities, like some sort of, for us bias approach.
Yes. And it's very important because ultimately, who knows what we need more than ourselves? It's even in, say, for example, the garment industry, clothes making. For the longest time, it was always men that were the designers and so on and so forth. In the early 1900s, when women started designing undergarments for women, that's when things started changing. Or if you look at fashion, when, say, for example, in the 1920s, when Coco Chanel started designing for women, things started shifting and changing because ultimately is the user, the consumer themselves designing something for themselves or having a say in what it's going to be, what their day is going to look like, what kind of clothes they're going to wear, what kind of services they're going to receive, and so on and so forth. When you have no choice, there's no dignity. It's like if your parents told you you have to study to be a doctor or an engineer, but in your heart you want to be an artist. It's not a nice feeling, is it?
Absolutely not, man. and you hit home because I grew up, with my parents, like literally what you described. They wanted me to become an engineer. So yeah, and it caused a lot of frustration for me growing up. But
But that's just what you wanted. But imagine if it's what you needed.
Yeah.
It's even worse. Like, for example, a disabled person might say, someone in a wheelchair might say, I need a ramp to be this this angle so that I can roll my wheelchair up. But somebody else, some engineer might say, oh, that's a wrong angle because the math tell me so. And therefore I shall make it this other angle. But the guy on the wheelchair can't roll himself up. When he's the one using it, he's the one with the expertise, right? And he knows what he needs because he has the lived experiences.
And what is for people without disabilities who want to help? So what is their role here then?
I think their role is very simply being a friend, being an equal. And I like an experience I have once at Heathrow when I was flying back. I had ground crew assistance to get to the plane. I was traveling alone with Esme and this guy just kind of asked me like, hey, it's my first day on the job. I have no idea how to help or what to do. Can you tell me? You're the expert. And I didn't ask for anything very difficult. I just said, can we try and find a little patch of grass somewhere in the airport so Esme can go have a pee before the long flight home? We couldn't find it. We couldn't find the grass, but at least we tried. And, that was... just having someone hear what I needed, what I wanted, it made so much difference. When most of the time when I travel, I don't get asked what I want or what I need. And it is assumed. There was once I came out of the plane somewhere in the US and the person coming to help came with a wheelchair and literally physically pushed me into the wheelchair. And I'm like, where am I going to put the dog? And how's the dog going to run along? I got out of the wheelchair and put my hand luggage on the wheelchair. And I said, no, I walk. Right. So that's somebody assuming what I need and what's best for me. And it makes so much difference when we have that autonomy to choose whether it's safer for us to walk or be rolled around in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it goes back with the need for dignity.
Mm-hmm.